Welcome back. In today's episode of CIO Watercooler TV, I want to explore how businesses can bring their vision to reality by working with a tech partner, but also how to select the right partner and the pitfalls that they could avoid. And I have the perfect guest today in Pawel Pustelnik, who is the Managing Director at Future Processing and Vice President at SODA, the Software Development Association. So to begin with, Pawel, could you tell the listeners a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Yes, hello everyone. Yes, I am Pawel Pustelnik. I'm Managing Director at Future Processing, so I'm mainly deciding about the strategy and its execution at our company. That's for sure. I'm also, as you already mentioned, Vice President of SODA. This is the organization that connects software companies in Poland. I started almost 20 years ago as a software developer, starting at Future Processing. So my whole career is definitely about future processing. So I changed the role during this career as a team leader, team manager, delivery manager, and now finally as a managing director. So I can say that I know the software industry starting from as a software developer and through different roles now to manage the software company.
Fantastic. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here today. And to begin with, can you tell me a little bit more about the Software Development Association and also the role of Polish software companies in connecting different industry players and ultimately uniting the industry while searching for synergies, cooperations on a global scale?
Yeah, so SODA, Software Development Association Poland, is an organization that is quite young, I would say. And I also have to say that a kind of inspiration that we have is from United Kingdom, because we see a lot of CIO organizations or CTO organizations in UK. We see a lot of benefits that this organization might bring to the members, and that's how we also thought maybe it's good to create something similar for software companies in Poland. So this was the first idea that we had in mind many years ago, and the truth is that now we see this as a progress, the progress that we see when it comes to developing this organization. And the point is that we see benefits from competition. So competition means that we compete on the market, and at the same time we cooperate together on the same market, and we see more benefits from doing something together. That's why we decided to do something together as a many different companies. And I think that the most important thing for our members is that they can finally talk about their issues, their problems, their challenges with someone who can understand them. So this is the very, very important value that we bring to our members. The other thing is that they might be on a different stage when it comes to how experienced they are, how big companies they are, and they might have many different challenges. That's why we have members that are big companies like Future Processing that has more than 1,000 people, but there are also companies that just started. They have 10 people, and they have different challenges comparing to our one. So we have different groups, and we are working in this smaller groups, and then we can share the knowledge, also our own experience for this 20 years of our Future Processing company, and share them with younger companies. So this is the benefit, especially for the new members, that they can learn from the bigger, more experienced companies, and they can do it not only through the events that we have, also one big conference that we organize once a year. But the most important, I think, thing is that they have the access to bigger players on the market, and they feel like a one family. Yeah? So they don't have to arrange a special meeting with me or other team members for our organization, or other CEOs for other organizations. They can do it very, very quickly. And we are happy to share the knowledge, everything we know with them. We just believe that if we do something together, if we collaborate between each other, then it might also bring benefits to our clients. For example, we have something that we call the bench. This is a bench of the software developers, QS testers, just technical people, engineers that might now have, I would say, they do not have a product right now, and they are available. So if I am looking for, let's say, Java specialist, and I don't have enough Java specialists at Future Processing, then I can ask other companies if they can support me here. And this is very efficient, because at the same time, there's a company that actually is looking for a client and is not able to find the one. And this is how we can cooperate and help each other. And in the end, my client is satisfied because I found quickly a good developer. I found it because I can trust the company that I know from SODA. and I already worked with this company, and I know that this particular person, when it's senior, it's a senior, and I can trust that the efficiency, the level of the quality of work is at a good level, and that's how we can see that it might be beneficial not only for us as the companies, but also to our clients.
And I love how you said a few moments ago that most businesses are just looking for someone to understand them and understand their situation. And I think that every single business leader out there in every single industry are forced with the challenge or faced with the challenge to meet the evolving demands of their customers and the digital expectations that come with that as well in this always online world we find ourselves in. And also, there's a lot of economic uncertainty at the moment. Businesses are forced to do more with less. And the other challenge, of course, is if you can't wait a year to get a project over the line because the expectations have evolved since then. So they need to move quicker, but they don't need long-term resources. They just need resources in-house to get these projects out there. And at Future Processing, you deliver end-to-end services from vision, reality to clients globally. And the big question I've got to ask is, what are the biggest reasons that you find that businesses choose to work with a tech partner? What are the big reasons that they come to you and ask for help?
Yeah, so I think that from our experience, something that we observed that was even growing rapidly last year was simple lack of talent in the market. So if we have to solve a problem, if we want to change our company, we see that our competition is doing something, or it's digitalized much more than we are, then we also have to do something about it. And we are looking for experts, specialists, technical partner, let's say. And it's not that easy because there was a very high demand on the market in the last 2 years. And that's, I think, the first thing that came to my mind when it comes to decision process, the beginning of the decision process, why we are looking for support from other companies or a partner, as an example. I think that the other reason might be there might be no experience or no knowledge about digitalization, cloud, or let's say anything else connected to the technology on the client side. And the client might think, okay, I'm not able to build this competency quickly right now, so I can buy it or I can borrow it. Buying it might be also very, very not cost effective right now. And if we are not, if this is not a game changer, then the simplest answer is let's borrow it from other company. Let's say a technological partner might support us here as well. So I think this is the other reason. I think sometimes I see that companies, the other organizations, they already have the knowledge, they have the experience, but it would be easy for them if they can compare it with other standards, with other organizations that also have this experience. And they simply are not able to do it on their own, so they need a sparring partner, I would say, someone who can challenge their ideas, who can say them, okay, you use this cloud, but maybe in this particular case, Azure is better than AWS. So this is also, I think, important factor. And sometimes it's also connected to the resistance to the change that they have in their own company. So they have their own people, their own teams. They used to work this way. And it's not that easy to convince them that there is a better world somewhere there, that they can do the same things more efficient. And it's good to have another company that can come, show that, hey, this is something that you can change. We do it this and this way. With our 4 clients, we did this, and this brought us a spectacular results, let's say. And this is something that might help also in the change process, I think, in our clients. This is how we see it from time to time, not of course always, but we see this kind of regularity. Let's say maybe once a quarter, when it comes to new pre-sales that we have, new clients that we have. And I think that we can also see a kind of a regularity here, that there are some sectors like insurance or banking that might have this technological debt, legacy systems, and they have to change them now. They see that a kind of challenges when it comes to regulations, but also when it comes to what competition is already doing. And then it would be good to find another partner, another company that maybe might have experience in this particular industry with this kind of problems. So it's usually risk management. So if you find the partner already has the experience and knows how to do this, it's usually easy to start and manage the risk, because someone already met this risk and know how to mitigate them.
So many great points there. And I think every business has that challenge. And it's easier in many ways to create that vision, create those business goals of everything that you want to achieve. But actually bringing it to life, that is what gets daunting and often overwhelming, especially when you're trying to secure the right tech skills out there. There's in short supply, but you might find the right person, but then securing their availability. And as you said, it's getting somebody that's been on this journey before, that has seen all the potential hurdles on the horizon and knows how to overcome them easier and not get the project get derailed. But I'm curious, from everything that you've seen and your experience of working with people, what are the biggest mistakes that businesses make in that selection process when they're working, and of course when they're working with a tech partner too?
Okay, so the first thing that I usually answer when our clients ask us about it as well is focusing on price only. So I think price is important factor. That's for sure. But sometimes we observe that it's too important factor. And if we are thinking about something bigger, if we are going to see more benefits, not just a cost, then it's important to focus on these other benefits to figure it out what else a technical legal partner can bring to our organization. So if we are looking for a partner, then let's focus not only on the cost side. This is one important factor, but there are other which are also important. Maybe we can dip a little bit more later during this discussion and figure it out what the other factors are. But I think that the focusing only on price is one of the mistakes that we observe. I think that also understanding the change on the client side. So I think that sometimes we see, okay, we just need to find the software provider or technical partner, but we do underestimate the change that is in our organization. So it's not just about finding the partner, but we need to manage the change. Sometimes it's not just one another team and that will develop something, but sometimes we are just changing too many things. And we also see that it might be a risk to our clients. So we always say, okay, we are happy to work with you, but we also see that we need to manage other factors that are on your side, and let's discuss them, because it's not that easy. And sometimes it's also connected with things like, okay, I will find a partner, but at the same time, maybe I don't need, let's say, one team or one department in my organization. And it's very difficult change. So you cannot just say, okay, we'll do this and take this one from the other side. Well, it is a process. So I think this also should be taken into consideration when we are thinking about selecting or going to outsource or nearshore our business. And I think that the other mistakes that are also quite often that we start maybe too fast and too heavy. So we rather say to our clients, okay, we understand that there is a need to develop the software, to create a solution, and it might require 2 or 3 teams. But from our point of view, we shouldn't start with these 3 teams now. Let's start, let's say, with 1 architect, 1 BA in the beginning, just to make sure that we fully understand what kind of change you are in, what we would like to achieve, what do you expect actually from choosing the partner. And then we can say, okay, maybe we can start with 1 team, and after 1 quarter, we can add yet another team just to make sure that you will not lose your money. So from our point of view, it would be good to start immediately with a lot of number of people, but it will not solve the problem that client might have. Yeah, so you always are oriented on the solving the problem, the challenge that client has, and I think that good partner will advise you in this way, rather than is trying to sell as much as possible. So I think that. These mistakes are quite often. So focusing on price, definitely, then making sure that we understand the implications that selecting the partner might bring to our organization, that it might be a change when it comes to the process. And just to make sure that we start not too fast and not too heavy, because it's also connected with this change process.
So much gold in your answer there, Pawel. And just to bring us home today and leave everyone watching with a powerful takeaway, just to save business leaders time and help them avoid making those expensive mistakes that you just mentioned there, how should they be working with a tech partner? Are there any insights and advice or tips you can share there?
Yeah, I think that it's important to figure it out what kind of the company this partner is, whether what I mean here, what company culture is, because if we have totally different company culture, let's say that we are very strongly oriented on business goals and not a people-oriented organization, and we select a partner that is very strongly oriented on people, then we might have a problem. Yeah, so we just need to make sure that these two company cultures might fit, work together. This is, I think, something that usually we do not see in the beginning, but then when we work longer, we see that it might have a very strong implication. So it is important to make sure that we take care about this factor. So definitely we have to think about it. I think that once when we want to start, it's also very important to define expectations, but expectations from both sides, not only from a client side or not only from a selected partner side, but we just need to make sure that it's quite obvious that that client is buying something, is expecting something. That's for sure. But we also need to ask our partner, what do you expect from working with us? What your expectations are, just to make sure that we have the agreement here, that we are on the same page, because if we select wrong, then we have a problem. Yeah, we started something, we are delivering, and then the partner is going to leave us, for example, or is not delivering what we expected. So we need to make sure that we have these expectations, and every single side understand what's going to happen in the future, what we can expect from each other. And I think from more operational level, it's also important to decide about the governance model. So who is responsible for what? How we are going to deliver and what we are going to deliver when, at which cost, for example. And also important, it might happen that something goes wrong. And it would be good to decide in the beginning of the collaboration, what are we going to do about it? What are the escalation paths? Just to make sure that we don't have to figure it out, what are we going to do now, but we already know. If something goes wrong, let's say, just call me. Yeah, sometimes it's just something like that, but it's important to our client. Okay, they know that I'm managing director. They can call me. Whatever is wrong. Usually it doesn't happen. Yeah, we are measuring it. We are going to make sure that our clients are satisfied. But if something goes wrong, they know that they can call me or call someone else from our organization. I think that this is important, and they know that how we are going to solve potential issue that we have during our collaboration.
100% with you there. I think it's very easy to get lost in the technology that's required, the digital skills that's required, when essentially it boils down to collaborating and choosing the right partner. And also not forgetting the company culture and ensuring that everybody comes along for the ride, and also meeting everybody's expectations. So many great insights, and just a big thank you, Pawel, for joining us on CIO Watercooler TV and sharing those with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And please remember, check out more videos like this on the CIO Watercooler website, and also remember to subscribe to us at YouTube. Until next time, bye-bye.